Hello sports fans! As we come to a close in the semester, everything including schoolwork seems to amp up another level. In athletics, many of our teams have had their conference tournaments or are getting ready to begin them. Starting things off, the men's golf team had great success this year. Over the weekend, they were able to take the CAA championship for a second consecutive season. They kept cool under pressure and took down rival Georgia State to earn the title of champion. Speaking of champions, former UNCW golfer and CAA Player of the Year Josh Brock earned a nice chunk of cash this weekend in a PGA event played at the Reserve Club at St. James Plantation. Brock posted a 10-under for the weekend with 2 rounds at 71 and the final 2 rounds at 68. He earned $25 grand for his stellar play and pocketed his first big check of his golf career. Keeping to that theme of success on the golf course, our Seahawk women were also able to repeat as CAA champions. The girls shot a team total of 305 on Saturday, giving them a 7-shot lead, and on Sunday they had an even lower round of 304 to seal their conference championship. Because of their terrific season, the ladies will be heading to Columbus, Ohio to participate in the Central Regional of the 2012 NCAA Women's Golf Championships. Needless to say, this was a very good weekend for UNCW golf. The Aquahawks also finished their season on a very strong note earlier in the semester, as they earned their 11th straight CAA championship. We now have 3 CAA championships to show for the 2012 season, and that's something to be proud of. The men's and women's tennis teams had their conference tournaments over the weekend, and both gave valiant efforts. The men moved into the finals of the CAA tournament after great performances from singles and doubles players, but eventually they fell to the top-seeded VCU squad. The guys gained a national ranking of 42 this season and always produce some thrilling matches. There's a lot of young talent on the roster, and the fellas should be excited about next year. One of those young guns, sophomore Rafael Aida, was given the honor of first-team All-CAA for singles. I look forward to watching him and all of our talented tennis players again next season. The women's tennis team also saw some success in their tournament, which was played in Norfolk, Virginia. The girls went into the tournament as the number 2 seed and performed up to that level. They made it all the way to the semifinals where they were knocked out by Georgia State. Even though they couldn't claim the CAA title, the ladies had a very good season and have talented players. The doubles duo of Olga Blank and Angie Seekley will be around next year as they're only sophomores. They played very well this season and can only get better. The Diamond Hawks were also in action over the weekend as they played conference foe Georgia State in Atlanta. They lost a tight one as the Panthers scored a couple of runs late, allowing them to squeak by with an 8-7 victory. The Hawks have 11 games left in the regular season before they start the CAA tournament and try to make a run at the championship. Their record stands at 27-16, and they're looking to keep that win-to-loss ratio in their favor as they close out the season. We got a chance to sit down with softball coach Kelly Van Houten to talk about the season. Let's hear what she had to say.
So far, ultimately we've played about 40-some games this year, and it's been kind of an up-and-down year for us. We have 7 seniors as well as we have a good underclassmen group of around 8 freshmen and sophomores. But ultimately the team has really done a great job of challenging themselves and staying strong through the challenge and just working hard and persevering through the tough times. And these last couple weeks we've really seen them come around offensively and played strong defensively, and our pitchers have really kept us in the games. So it's been great to see us finish strong after such a long kind of up-and-down season. Well, I think a big thing that we need to work on for next year, and ultimately all parts of our games, you got offense, defense, and pitching that have to come together on the same day, to give you that shot of winning every game. And we didn't find ourselves, perfect in every aspect of our game. So looking to next year, what we need to work on is continuing, obviously, to work on our offense to get stronger to score those runs, keeping our pitchers in the game for 7 innings, getting that leadoff out in every inning is a big momentum changer for us on defense, and then just keeping our defense solid behind our pitchers for support for them. So, continue to work on every aspect of the game, but I think our energy level with our girls and just the positiveness when they came out, still wanting to fight and compete, was still there, and that's a big part of trying to go after a win. We have 7 seniors this year. They've a great group. They've battled for 4 years. They've been out here and given us everything they've gotten. This year we've had 6 of our 7 seniors who have consistently started for us in the lineup, and they've really contributed a lot to our program, not just athletically, but also too from a leadership standpoint and what they've given back to the team and the program, as well as to their underclassmen, and just helping them grow as players and understanding what it's like to be a student athlete. And I'm very proud of what they've accomplished through 4 years of continuing to work hard and stay with it, even though they have been challenged. But also, too, getting to see them graduate and move on to their next step in their lives, and be successful there as well. So I'm very proud of them, and we're definitely going to miss our seniors. Hofstra right now is #1 in our conference. They've been very strong for the last couple years we've been in the CAA. So looking for a great weekend of play. Always want to play a challenging team. They definitely up the level of your game, and so we're looking for our seniors to step on the field for their last series of their careers and give everything they've got like they have all season and just play strong and come out with an upset this weekend and just kind of play spoiler to the #1 seed. But we're excited for the weekend, getting to go up to New York, get to play up there. Different environment, but also too just a time to play some softball and have fun with family and friends. So good weekend. Thank you.
Our track and field athletes have been very competitive this season, and they rose above the competition this past weekend at the Penn Relays. The women's sprint medley crew set a school record on Friday, and the 4x800 men's relay team finished in first place on Saturday. One of our premier track and field athletes, Ariel Chapman, won the triple jump and long jump early in the week. Paired with his contributions at the Penn Relays, these performances earned him title of CAA Athlete of the Week. The track and field team has a lot to hang their hat on for the season and should be a force to be reckoned with next year. I recently sat down with former Teal TV sports anchor Ben Tyson and talked about Seahawk athletics as well as some national sports topics. Let's have a look. I'm here in Trask Coliseum with my buddy Ben Tyson, the former sports anchor of UNCW Seahawk Central News. Ben, let's talk about that thing that we love so much, sports.
Let's talk about it.
And UNCW sports to start off with. The basketball team this past year ended the season with some crazy news, you know, a few players leaving, some struggles there, but Buzz Peterson's going to stay and Keith Rendelman's also going to stay. So what do you think about the state of basketball going into next year?
I think Buzz coming back is a great thing. I'm glad there was rumors he was going to go to Southern Methodist with Larry Brown. Glad he didn't do that. Keith coming back is huge. This is the CAA first team player. It was a leading rebounder, second leading scorer. Losing your leading scorer in Adam Smith is tough, though, as is losing Dante Morales, who brings almost a J.R. Smith quality. He's not going to play defense, but he can hit that corner three. He can hit the dribble drive. He can hit the stop and pop. You know, he's got moves, and he's been a key part of the team for 3 years now. I don't get why he's transferring. I like Dante. He's a good guy, but he will be missed. KK Simmons, he's had some behavioral problems this year. He missed a couple of games. Didn't fill that key role. I look at Tanner Milson returning. He'll be a junior. He'll bring key junior leadership as he takes the throne from Chad Tomko 2 years ago. Really learned a lot from Tomko and put that into his game. I think UNCW basketball has a lot to look forward to. I think Freddie Jackson is going to fill that key role next year. He's got the shake and bake ability, the dribble drive, the stop and pop, the corner three, the assist. This guy's got handles. And he can lay it up too. He can dunk in the wide open space. I like Freddie Jackson. He's my sleeper pick next year. He'll be a starter. I think he can average in double digits. What do you think?
I think Freddie is going to be important next year, and KK. Obviously, Keith, was the dominating player that we had in the CAA. He made his mark on the CAA. Everyone seemed to know about Keith Rendelman. So it's great that we have him coming back. But like you said, Adam Smith, Dante being gone. I think Adam was really important for just creating plays, creating offense, and I mean he was a great guard. And he's gonna be good for whatever team he goes to play for. But I think that we can be optimistic for the season after, even though next year we can't make the CAA tournament, which is really unfortunate. But hopefully Buzz can keep the guys' morale up, and 2014 season, here we come.
That's a good positive spin to put on it. Women's basketball though, losing Coach Cooper Dyke. Assistant coach Jimmy Garrity taking over. Coach Cooper Dyke just did a lot. She just did a lot. She molded players. She made copper turn into gold. As far as you look at Alicia Andrews, the freshman, you look at Abria Trice, Jessica Freeman, Carnicia Garrett, who was draining threes this year, and she's a center. I just don't know if Jimmy Garrity is going to be able to make the connection with these girls that Coach Cooper Dyke could.
I agree there. You got a WNBA Hall of Famer on your hands with Cynthia Cooper Dyke, and
National Basketball Hall of Fame.
What else do you need to inspire a group of players other than one of the greatest? And for someone to step in and try to replace her is just not going to happen. So hopefully the women's basketball team can do good things next year. But obviously, like you said, losing her was a big hurting factor.
Big blow, big blow.
The baseball team this year has been doing pretty well, a solid 27-16 record. Lost a tight one in Atlanta the other night, 8-7 to Georgia State. but the baseball team is looking pretty good this year. I mean, what do you think about their season?
Yeah, I like the team. I've been to a lot of games this year. It seems like Coach Scaife knows what he's doing. He's a great coach. He's a top-tier coach. He's won CAA championships before. He's been to the NCAA tournament before. It looks like the team's heading back there now. They're tops in the CAA, I believe. They really have a great team. Andrew Kane, Tyler Molinaro. You have Jay Kane, the shortstop. He's a senior. Great senior leadership. Baseball is looking great right now. How do you feel about it?
I agree. 11 games left in the regular season to kind of clean things up and then head into the CAA tournament ready to make a run. Like you said, we got a lot of players like Tyler Molinaro, you know, just hot bats recently. Started off the season a little bit slow, but they fired things up, you know, about midway. Looking pretty good at this point. And this weekend, our golf team won the CAA tournament for the second straight time. What do you think about that?
I think it's great for the men's golf program. I'm proud of the team, and I believe a former UNCW golf standout made some news this past weekend as well. What happened with there?
Yeah, Josh Brock, the former CAA Player of the Year last year, he won a PGA tournament event and gained $25,000. So it was a great weekend for UNCW golf.
Well, segueing into national topics, what else you got for us?
Let's talk a little bit about the Carolina Panthers draft and defensive players that they were able to pick up, because obviously last year Cam Newton brought a lot to the offense, but the defense was needing some serious help.
Well, and the wide receiver core, let's be fair.
Yeah.
I like Brian Cookley, the linebacker out of Boston College. He would not have been my first pick. I like Fletcher Cox, the defensive tackle out of Mississippi State. I think he went to the Eagles at the 14th pick. He would have been a great defensive tackle for the Panthers. But one thing we're good at is getting defensive ends and defensive tackles late in the draft. We actually got a defensive end in the 4th round, I believe, this year. So maybe that'll bring in something. But I hated our 2nd round pick, offensive guard out of Midwestern State. And, you know, this guy, Alshon Jeffrey, went off the board to the Bears about 5 minutes later. And I really think we need Alshon Jeffrey. He's going to be the next Randy Moss. And I'm not afraid to say that right now.
Well, I'm a little worried for you saying that, but I agree with you that the pick should have been Alshon Jeffrey there. You know, with Steve Smith, the little speedster, would have been the perfect complement, the giant possession receiver. But they went with the unknown guard from Midwestern State. So hopefully he turns out to be an absolute weight room beast and, you know, molds himself into a great NFL player. But I do kind of like that 1st round pick with Cookley, because that's going to allow John Beeson and Thomas Davis to go outside, be a little more pass rushers. And it seems like this Cookley kid is just kind of a tackling machine. He's just linebacker bred.
Led the NCAA in tackles for linebacker last year, I believe. But you have to look at, you know, the Panthers, they have spent high draft picks on linebackers before. And usually that's the safest pick you can make is on a linebacker. But the injuries, you mentioned John Beeson, you mentioned Thomas Davis, Dan Morgan. Let's talk about Dan Morgan for a second. You know, I love Dan Morgan. He was like Ben Stiller's clone back when I was like 12 years old. I thought this guy was going to be the next great Panther like Sam Mills. And, you know, 3 concussions later and he's out of the league.
You know, in the NFL, really you can't guarantee anything, but as of now, I like the pick.
All right.
Well, that's all for now. We'll see you next time.
Keep on keeping on.
This is the last show until the fall, so I hope that everyone has a fun and safe summer, and I would like to thank all of the UNCW student athletes who contributed to this show with their play, and I wish you all the best in the future. Adios, Seahawks.